Goodbye, Moby. How you guys going? Been a while since I've done an upload. It's been pretty chilly. Haven't been diving very much. But this is one from maybe a couple weeks ago now. Went down Great Ocean Road with TJ. Very quickly got in the water and spotted a wonderful looking blue throat. Just sort of stalked him a little bit here. Trying out a rife at the moment that we had at the shop as sort of like a hire gun, and pretty happy with the rifes, to be honest. Yeah, shoot really nice. Obviously very fancy gun to shoot compared to what I've got, but yeah, very quickly got onto this blue, and yeah, this one ended up being a PB for me in the blue throat.
Oh my god, it's a very big blue. That's the biggest blue throat I've ever shot. Oh my god.
So I believe it was about a 48 to 50 centimeter blue throat. The measurement, like, I think it was in that realm. Pretty big. They don't get much bigger than that in Victoria.
We'll try and go around it.
It was a bit surgy out on this day, and yeah, out with TJ. She wasn't a huge fan of the swell. The forecast was supposed to be pretty nice, but there was still a lot of energy around in the water. On that, I am working on a script for like a dive conditions video. I at least feel like at this point I'm getting the picking the viz correctly, because it was pretty nice viz on this day. And yeah, hopefully I'll have that out pretty soon. So yeah, we had the blue thread in the bag. Look, this spot, I've dove it once before. The last time I was here, I saw a couple of bandies around, but mostly small size. On this day, there wasn't as much fish around, aside from some blue throats in this spot. A bit further along, I think I spotted like one small cray, and that was about it. But it was a lovely dive, good to get in the water after a bit of a hiatus, and probably the last like really solid back beach dive I had before winter really set in. You know, just being out amongst all the kelp and the seaweed and stuff was just lovely, even with a bit of surge and swell around. So yeah, really getting down here, looking in every crack I can. I think here I spotted a little cray up in there. I did try and see if I could get my fingers on his antenna, but he was way under. Like, there's no way he would have been legal, and he was in a good spot. He was not coming out of there. So we very quickly moved spots after this. We were only in the water for about an hour. TJ wasn't a fan of the swell. So we moved to another spot along Great Ocean Road. This is probably only the third or fourth dive that I've done down that neck of the woods. On the way out I saw a patch of reef on Google Maps and basically decided, okay, let's just push out towards that. Out on the sand, the viz got really, really nice. Saw this lovely swell shark out on the sand. You guys see that they glow in the dark now, apparently, which is awesome. So I would love to get do a night dive and try and find some of the UV light. That would be really cool. So just, yeah, out on the spot, it started to sort of shallow up a bit closer to the reef. It got a little bit sandy around the rocks. The swell tends to, you know, kick against the rocks and pick up a bit. It was pretty barren on the way out. Viz was really nice. Again, like, just not super, not really getting my hopes up on the way out, I would say. You know, pretty calm, not much fish to be seen anywhere, lots of seaweed. Not good cray terrain either, like, it was pretty open cracks. And then eventually, I don't know if this is this the spot? Eventually, while I was looking around, I stumbled upon a very nice looking crack, which I think is just around the corner here. Just ahead of me there's this big crack in the rock. Just huge gouge, almost looks like it's been blown apart. this point I see a few deeper cracks, and I'm like, okay, this is a spot to have a look at for sure. TJ's happily swimming around. She's not doing much free diving with me at this point. She just likes to snorkel and hang out in the water. Down Great Ocean Road, though, I did have crays on the mind, and yeah, I was pretty lucky on this one, to be honest with you. I feel like most of the crays I've pulled in Victoria have been kind of doing this, and yeah. Hey, look, I don't really have any secret tips or tricks for this, but if you get out there, sometimes you just see them. Sometimes they're just out for a walk. He obviously noticed me and was like, oh, okay, I don't like this. Here I've got hands on either side, so if he decides to bolt either side, I could try and catch him, but yeah, snuck under the feelers and went for the top grab.
I think it's legal. Oh my god. I need to go check the other holes in that spot. I didn't even look.
So this one definitely looked legal to me, 100%. But get the measure out on him anyway, just to be certain. You can get these measures for free from fisheries, I believe, or you could just come into Adruno and grab them from us. We have loads of them there. Got them in what? English, Mandarin, Vietnamese. Not as big as my previous one that I got down at Anglesey, but yeah, this one was still well within, and very happy with that grab. No damage, great condition.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Lovely cray, and it was a male. It wasn't. I didn't accidentally put it back thinking it was a female. You know, this is great. This is why we have the cray measure on us. And then this one was the second grab. This one put up a bit more of a fight. This is how a cray grab usually should go. So I kind of got him by the horn a bit there. Ended up getting a good hold on them, and then just he really locked in, so shook the devil out of him, and then eventually gave up. This one was a lot smaller, and as soon as I pulled it, I was like, ah, I broke his antennas off. It's a bit small.
Not legal.
That was my initial assumption, and I was thinking, what have I done? It's not a legal cray, and I've broken his antenna off. It takes a while to grow them back, like multiple years. And in that time, that cray probably wouldn't be able to feel anything. Like, you know, they sense the world kind of through their feelers and through their eyes and stuff. They're pretty blind, though. Look, thankfully, this one was legal.
I should keep him. I snapped his antennas off. He's not huge, but yeah, he's...
Yeah. So in future, I think I need to take my time and size them up a little bit more before I go for the grab, because that one was very borderline. I would say I was pretty lucky in that situation that it was legal, because if it wasn't legal, I'd be putting back a cray after hurting it, and that's not what we strive for, right? You don't want to unnecessarily injure things out there. You want to leave it to grow bigger so you can come back and get it at a later time. You know? You know, I've got this, you know, this spot marked on my my watch now, so I know where it is and I can come back to it. And look, there are a few more in this spot that I think I see in a couple minutes. You know, this is potentially someone else's special cray spot, and they might be coming back and checking this for crays and stuff like that in the future. And, you know, hopefully by that time, some of these little guys in here have grown a little bit, and you can have a crack at them. But lots of opportunities. There's one down there, one back around the corner, and I think I saw maybe one more back on the other side. There's a little like a purple rock cod in there, which I did end up taking as well. Tiny bandy there. So this is sort of where I saw the accumulation of all the life in that spot. Heaps of big sweep around, but I already had a really nice blue throat. I wasn't trying to load up on fish, but the sweep would have done some damage for sure, because they were massive. I did recently get throw flashes, and we have just got those in at the shop. at long last. So this is the only chance I've got to really have a play with a throw flasher. And look, the sweep seemed curious about it, but I don't think it's their preferred sort of prey or anything like that. They seem kind of like, ooh, what's this? But um, I'm fiending for a dive with some salmon to have a chuck of it at some salmon schools and see how it goes. But look, they're a fun little thing to have out with you. I'll have to try them out on some blue throats. Apparently they work pretty well on blues. So here I was just going down for another look. Obviously left the gun down there. It managed to wedge itself into a nice hole. There's one more little cray down under a crack in here that I spooked. Hey buddy, see you later. Look, these cracks would go back a fair way, so that who knows what else could be hiding up in there. Yeah, that was sort of the dive. Most of the good footage that I got. I think we ended up doing lobster rolls and did the blue throat steamed, which was fantastic, and had a magical sunset that night. Seacroft Estate has some sick yaks, some Highland cows, ocean views right out our front door, which was lovely. Yeah, it was about 48 centimeters on the blue throat. Look at the teeth. My God, look at them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and tuning in again, even with the irregular uploads. Yeah, see you on the next one. Like and subscribe.
Oh, double rainbow. Oh, all the way.